Hello students, today we continue with exercise 7.1. We had done question number 1 in the previous lecture. So we start with question 2 just now, that is find the area of the region bounded by the parabola y square is equal to 4x and the line x is equal to 3. Now remember question number 2, 3 and 4. All three of them carry diagrams, that is figures carry marks for these questions. So you have to practice drawing figures for these questions. Now in this case, you know that the equation, general equation of the parabola is y square is equal to 4ax. And we have learned that there are different types of parabolas. So looking at this equation, y square is equal to 4x, we understand that this is the standard equation of the parabola. And so the parabola has a shape like this now. It is facing this side and it has a shape like this. Okay, suppose this is our parabola. Now this has the equation y square is equal to 4x. Also, we have to find the area which is bounded by this particular parabola and the line x is equal to 3. Suppose x is equal to 3 is here and the line lies over here. Now this is our line actually. Required line is this one. That means we have to find this particular, the area of this particular region as I have shaded over here and as I am shading over here. Okay, this region. Now when we apply the formula y square, that is area is equal to integral. See, we are going to apply this particular formula, that is a is equal to integral from a to b y dx. Now in this case, a to b means x is equal to a, the area between the lines x is equal to a and x is equal to b. Okay, for us the two lines are, the first line x is equal to 3, this forms the upper limit of integration, and x is equal to 0, that is the equation of the y-axis. X is equal to 0, the equation of the y-axis. So both of these lines are the required lines which form the limit of integration, and the integral y dx is what we are going to find. When we apply this formula, actually what we will find is that we will find the area of only this upper region, the region which is lying in the first quadrant. When we double it, we get the required area. I hope you understood the sum that is there. Okay. So the required area, suppose I name these lines as AB. This is line AB. And the point where the line touches the x-axis, suppose this line is, this point is C. So the required area is the area in the region OACBO. Okay, OABO rather. Okay, suppose the area is OABO. Okay, then we first find the area OACO and double it to get the required area. So that is what we are going to do over here. So required area is equal to OABO, which is twice the area of the region OACO. Look at the diagram and get it actually. Okay, so this is region OABO, which is double the region OACO, that way. So this becomes what? This becomes twice of the integral. Now this region, the area of this region OACO can be found out by using integration, that is 2 integral of 0 to 3. See, our lines are x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 3. The area is bounded between these two lines. So twice of 0 to 3 y dx. So that is our required area. Okay, so that is the entire area of this particular region. Now what about y? Do we have the information of y? Yes, we do have it, because we know that y square is equal to 4x is the equation of the parabola. From this we can find out what is y. So we write, since y square is equal to 4x, therefore y is equal to 2 root x. square root. So y is equal to 2 root x, and since the area lies in the first quadrant, it is positive. So that way. So therefore, area is equal to the required area is equal to twice of the integral. Now y is equal to 2 root x. So when we write the integration between 0 to 3, instead of y we'll write 2 root x dx. Now that 2 we can take it outside. So this becomes 4 integral 0 to 3 root x dx. This way. Now after doing that, root x means what? Root x means x raised to half. So in this case, it becomes 4 integral 0 to 3 x raised to half. Yes, of course, now you know the answer because we are going to use the formula x raised to n, which is x raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So this becomes 4 into x raised to half plus 1 upon half plus 1. This you have done it many times, isn't it? So this way. Now we simplify it further. So we get 4 into x raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2. Now the 3 by 2 comes out. We can write it as 2 by 3. So 4 into 2 by 3 into x raised to 3 by 2 between 0 and 3. Between 0, the limits are 0 to 3. Now we apply the limits of integration. So we get 8 upon 3 into, now first of all, x raised to 3 by 2. X raised to 3 by 2 becomes what? It becomes 3 raised to 3 by 2. 3 raised to 3 by 2 minus 0 raised to 3 by 2. This way. And further we write it as here now 3 raised to 3 by 2. Now remember 3 raised to 3 by 2 is 3 cube raised to half. And minus 0 raised to anything is 0. So that goes away. That term goes away just. Upon doing further, we get 8 upon 3. Now 3 cube is 27. Or rather 3 raised to half. Okay, 3 raised to half is root of it. So we can write it as this way. That is root 3 cube. Which is actually now root 3 cube means from 3 cube, 2 of the 3's come out as 1 3. So this becomes this way. That is 8 upon 3 into 3 root 3. Okay, so I'll just simplify it for you once again a bit more. So this can be written as 3 into 3 into 3. And from this, 2 of the 3's come out as 1 3. Outside the root, it becomes 1. 1 of the 3's that is. And so this becomes 3 root 3. Of course, the 3 gets cancelled. And so our required area becomes 8 root 3 square units. So go through the sum once again, study it properly. Now in the third question, find the area of the circle x square plus y square is equal to 25. Now consider the standard equation of the circle, that is x square plus y square is equal to r square. So comparing this with this equation, we get r is equal to, so this is rough work. So r is equal to 5. R is not negative because it is a distance, radius. So r is equal to 5. So at x is equal to 5 over here, suppose taking x is equal to 5 as the radius of the circle. If you draw the circle, it comes out somewhat this way. Okay, consider this as a circle. And in this particular circle, using the information which is given to us, the area between x is equal to 0, this area, this line, and this particular imaginary line, x is equal to 5. Okay, the area between x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 5 in the first quadrant, that is this particular area, can be found by us using the formula for area of the area of a curve. Okay, we can find out this particular area. Clearly, the limits of integration are 0 to 5. So our required area is, that is the area which we can find is the area is given by this particular formula, that is a is equal to integral 0 to phi y dx. But that gives us only the area in the first quadrant. So to find the area of the entire circle, what we do is that we just multiply this area, entire area, we just multiply this answer, what we find for this area, by 4. Okay, so we first find the answer for this particular area and multiply that by 4. Or we can just write that required area. Suppose we name this region as OAB. Okay, so OABO is the area of this region. So area of OABO is what is over here. Let me write it properly for you. Area of region OABO is actually integral 0 to phi y dx. Okay, therefore the required area, now our area is 4 times this particular area that is there. I do hope you are understanding this. Pay proper attention. So our required area is 4 times of this particular area. So therefore required area is equal to 4 times area of the region OABO. Okay, so whatever answer we get, we are going to multiply it 4 times. Now consider this. Now we have to find the y over here, isn't it? We have to find what is y over here. Now from this equation we have, so since they have given us that equation of the circle, x square plus y square is equal to 25. This is the equation of the circle. From this we can say that y square is equal to 25 minus x square, and therefore y becomes root of 25 minus x square. Remember, we are considering the first quadrant, and therefore y becomes root of 25 minus x square. So therefore required area, that is area of the circle, is equal to, it becomes 4 times integral 0 to phi y dx. So in this case 4 times 0 to phi, the integral 0 to phi root of 25 minus x square dx. I hope you understood from where that phi came and from where the 0 came. Okay. So in this case we are going to use this formula which we studied in the previous lecture. That is, if the integral is of this form, that is, if it is integral of a square minus x square dx, then we have the answer as x upon 2 root of a square minus x square plus a square upon 2 sine inverse x upon a plus c. So this is the formula which we are going to use here as well, because as you can see, this sum is of that type, isn't it? 25 minus x square can be written as phi square minus x square. So area of the circle, let us denote it as a. Therefore, in this case, therefore a is equal to 4 integral 0 to phi root of phi square minus x square. Okay, phi square minus x square dx. So using the same formula, we get the answer. We get the answer as over here 4 times x upon 2 root of a square minus x square. So a square minus x square is 25, that is phi square. Same thing, 25 minus x square plus a square upon 2. So 25 upon 2, instead of a it is phi. So 25 upon 2 sine inverse x upon a, x upon phi. In this case a is phi between the limits 0 to phi. Okay, then going further, over here we just substitute, we take the value of phi. Okay, we substitute with the upper limit and the lower limit of integration. So we get 4 into phi upon 2 root of 25 minus 5 square plus 25 upon 2 sine inverse 5 upon 5. Okay, that is a upper limit of integration, applying the upper limit of integration. Minus again 0 upon 2 root of 25 minus 0 square plus 25 upon 2 sine inverse of 0 upon 5. Having written this now, we are going to get 4 into 5 upon 2. Now this first term becomes 0 because 25 minus 25 it is 0 and 0 into anything is 0. So the first term becomes 0. So we are going to get over here this term, that is 25 upon 2 sine inverse 5 upon 5 means 1. Minus again over here 0 upon 2, 0 into anything is 0, and so the first term becomes 0. The second term also is actually 25 upon 2. See, we can write it this way first of all. 25 upon 2 sine inverse of 0 upon 5 means 0. Now we keep in mind this particular fact that sine inverse 1. Which value of sine is 1? It is 90 degree. So 90 means pi upon 2. Okay, so sine inverse 1 is pi by 2 and sine inverse of 0, sine 0 is 0 itself. So sine inverse 0 is 0. This I had explained to you in the previous lecture. You can just go and watch that particular video if you want it in detail actually. Okay. So in this case now we come back to our sum. So the second term here also becomes 0 and so we get 4 into 25 upon 2 into sine inverse 1. So sine inverse 1 is pi by 2. Now over here we can cancel off this 2 with this 4. Both the 2's will go along with the 4 and therefore we get the answer as 25 pi square units. So this becomes the area of the circle. The required area we get it this way actually. So fourth question, find the area of the ellipse x square upon 4 plus y square upon 25 is equal to 1. Now we have learned about the equation of the ellipse in the first lecture of chapter 7 that is here. That is the equation of the ellipse is given as this way, that is x square upon a square plus y square upon b square is equal to 1. And depending upon whether a is greater than b or a is less than b, we have two types of ellipses, the horizontal and the vertical ellipse. Now first of all, a is the point where the ellipse touches the x-axis and b is the coordinate of the point, that is b is the point where the ellipse touches the y-axis. This way you understand it. Now in this case, comparing this equation to x square upon 4 plus y square upon 25 is equal to 1, we have a as 2 plus or minus 2 of course and b as plus or minus 5. Let me write it plus or minus. We are going to consider the positive values here because we are going to consider the area in the first quadrant for the ellipse. Now anyway, since a is less than b, the ellipse turns out to be a vertical ellipse. So the figure of the ellipse comes out to be this way. Okay, so here the ellipse is touching the x-axis in the first quadrant at the point 2, 0 and the y-axis in the point 0, 5 in the first quadrant actually. So what we do is we find the area of the region between x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 2 by using the formula for area. Okay, integration formula for area. And then we multiply it 4 times to find the entire area. So as usual, we are going to find the area of this particular region. We can name this region as OABO. Okay, and then we'll also multiply this region by the area by 4 so that we get the area of the entire ellipse that is here. So area of the region OABO is given as integral from 0 to 2 because x is equal to 0, we are considering the area between x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 2. So the area integral 0 to 2 y dx. And the required area of the ellipse becomes this way. Therefore, area of the ellipse. That is A. Let A be the area of the ellipse. A is equal to 4 times the same area, 0 to 2 y dx. Now, to find out y, we take this equation into consideration. That is x square upon 4 plus y square upon 25 is equal to 1. This particular equation we take into consideration, and from this equation we have y square upon 25 is equal to 1 minus x square upon 4. Upon cross multiplying we get 4 minus x square the whole upon 4. And therefore y square becomes, therefore y square is equal to 25 goes to the RHS, and therefore 25 upon 4 into 4 minus x square. And therefore taking square root on both the sides, y is equal to 5 upon 2 root of 4 minus x square. So this becomes the value for y in the first quadrant we are considering. So everything is positive. So therefore this becomes the value for y, equation of y. And therefore A, that is the required area of the ellipse, A is equal to 4 integral 0 to 2 into 5 upon 2 root of 4 minus x square dx. Now we are going to take 5 upon 2 outside. So 4 into 5 upon 2 and the remaining part of the equation this way. Thus over here 4 and 2 get cancelled. So we get 10. So this becomes 10 integral 0 to 2 4 minus x square dx. Then now this particular formula, that is root of 4 minus x square, is similar to this particular formula which we did in the previous sum, isn't it? This is similar to root of, that is integral root of a square minus x square dx. So this is the formula which we are going to use. We saw it already in the previous sum, how to use this particular formula. So using this we get 10 into, now the formula is x upon 2 root of a square minus x square, that is 4 minus x square, plus a square upon 2, a square is 4, 4 upon 2 root of, that is 4 upon 2 into sine inverse x upon a. X upon a, that is x upon 2, in this case a is 2, okay, x upon 2 from 0 to 2. Okay, perhaps over here you can write one more step. After this step you can write one more step, that is 10 into 10 integral 0 to 2 root of 2 square minus x square dx, so that you understand it in a better manner. So this way, now applying our limits of integration. Okay, in this case applying our limits of integration, we get 10 into, now first of all we apply 2 excess 2, so 2 upon 2 root of 4 minus 2 square plus 4 upon 2 into sine inverse 2 upon 2. It becomes the same thing like we got in the previous sum. And then we put excess 0, so minus 0 upon 2 root of 4 minus 0 square plus 4 upon 2. That 4 upon 2 can be written as 2 actually. Anyway, 4 upon 2 sine inverse 0 upon 2. So thus we applied both the limits of integration, the upper limit and the lower limit. Then doing further, this becomes 10 into, now the first term becomes 0 because 4 minus 4 is 0. So the first term goes away. The second term over here, this becomes 2 sine inverse of 1 minus, again here the first term is 0 and the second term, again this becomes 2 sine inverse of 0. You already know, just because just now you saw it, that sine inverse 1 is pi by 2 and sine inverse 0 is 0. So we get the answer over here as 10 into 2 into sine inverse 1. Sine inverse 1 becomes pi by 2. So this 2 gets cancelled, and so the area comes out as 10 pi square units. Thus we have found the area of the ellipse that is there using integration. So study these 3 sums. I'll not overload you with any more sums today. You go through these sums, understand them thoroughly, because in the next lecture, we are going to deal with the miscellaneous exercise sums. So see you in the next lecture. Thank you so much for listening.